with plans for top feuds in WWE revealed and more. This is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. As former AEW producer Ace Steel has been working for Impact Wrestling, PW Insider said Ace Steel got high marks for his work as a producer over the weekend. The report also noted that it meant a lot to the company to have Tenay at the pay-per-view, with one source stating that the company had been making overtures as far back as 5 years ago, possibly longer. There were some in the company hoping Tenay would call a match, and we are told some talents even directly come to Tenay and asked him to come out of retirement while they were with him in Chicago. The stories we have heard relayed is that Tenay told everyone they were in good hands with Tom Hannafin and Matthew Raywald, which he was 100% correct about. Touching on possibly returning to the ring for another match, WWE Hall of Famer Molly Holly told Wrestling Inc., "I really don't believe that there's anything I could add to the business. I just feel so complete in my career. I don't feel that it's like, oh, if I just had this moment. I already had all the moments. I really want to save the TV time for the younger people to have their moments." Holly currently works with WWE as a producer and has made sporadic appearances for the company in Royal Rumble matches. The women's iteration of the over-the-top elimination match was first staged in 2018, nearly a decade since she last stepped in the ring, and she would participate that year in 2020 and 2022. Recalling previous plans for him in AEW, Daniel Garcia noted on Matt Hardy's Extreme Life podcast, "In that moment, I was very, very, very sad about the situation. I was originally supposed to be put with Bryan in the original Blackpool Combat Club when it was first initiated. Jericho needed me for his group, so I got taken out of that and put with Jericho. In my mind, I knew, like, damn, I know I was supposed to be put with Bryan in a couple of weeks. This is sad. So once I started, like, okay, this Bryan could be happening in a bigger way, where I already got over a little bit, and now it could be a big payoff of a big storyline where I get put with Bryan. I'm like, this is really cool." Given the success of ticket sales for Survivor Series, WrestleTix revealed that WWE added the last 4 available sections, and if these sell, the All-State Arena will reach full capacity for Survivor Series. SmackDown opened the front 6 rows of Section 206 and 207, as well as all of Sections 106 and 107. Ringside News added WWE's 2023 Survivor Series event currently has 1,718 available tickets, a setup and configuration for 16,860 and 15,128 tickets distributed. It appears that WWE is ready for anything at this point, and they plan to pack out the All-State Arena. Speaking of Survivor Series, this was said regarding plans for the event by Dave Meltzer in Daily Update. On SmackDown, based on an angle, we talked about the possibility of a Raw vs. SmackDown War Games match at Survivor Series. We are told that right now the War Games match is not planned as a Raw vs. SmackDown match. Many pro wrestling promotions are interested in signing Will Ospreay when he becomes a free agent, as details regarding these upcoming negotiations were given by PW Insider. New Japan Pro Wrestling's Will Ospreay's current deal with the promotion is slated to expire in February 2024, and PW Insider Elite.com has confirmed Ospreay has already leveled up in preparations for what is expected to be a bidding war for his services. PW Insider Elite.com has confirmed that Ospreay has hired Barry Bloom to represent him in future negotiations. Bloom currently handles Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and in the past handled Jesse Ventura, Kevin Nash, and the late Scott Hall, among others. The belief is that Ospreay is setting up Bloom to get him the best big money offer possible when he hits the free market. Ospreay has worked for New Japan, AEW, and Impact Wrestling in recent months, and one would think he's absolutely on WWE's radar as well. Talking about professional wrestling fans in London, England, former WWE writer Freddie Prinze Jr. said on his podcast, "I think London was the audience that made cheering heels acceptable and cool. I feel like they started that before AEW did, before WWE fans in America were starting to get hip to heels. In London, they were just like, look, we get these effers once a year. We're cheering for whoever we want. If we like both dudes are getting songs. If we don't, they're getting booed. That's it. We don't care how you book it. I saw it firsthand when Jeff Hardy and Undertaker went at it over there when I was at the company. I was like, man, they're just cheering for whoever they want." It pissed Vince McMahon off. He didn't like that. Explaining her desire to have a set of women's tag team belts in AEW, Nyla Rose told Muscle Man Malcolm, "I have been pushing for this since day 37. I'm not going to say day one. I wanted the world title from day one, but after things settled a little bit, I've been pushing for women's tag titles. I would love to not only win them, but also introduce them, bring them in. I would love to get women's tag titles, would love to hold them with Marina Shafir. Do that, and then I can be the actual Grand Slam champion." For plans on a fan event that WWE is going to be hosting in Saudi Arabia, BWE posted on X, "There's an indoor WWE city project for Crown Jewel. Audience will experience a lot of different hubs with different characterized themes, ranging from superstars past and present, eras, etc. Conference pre and post, a full entrance and ring experience, a huge WWE shop, a lot more. Will update soon." Following Becky Lynch's loss of the NXT Women's title to Lyra Valkyria at Halloween Havoc last night, Corey Brennan reported that multiple sources have told Bodyslam.net that Lynch went into tonight's match banged up, but it is also believed this did not play a part in her loss to Valkyria on tonight's show. The belief is that this is not an extension of the arm injury Lynch suffered at No Mercy. Lynch would also break her silence after the bout on X, writing, "The future is bright." In some big news for a future event, WWE released this statement. WWE, part of TKO Group Holdings, today announced that Bash in Berlin, the first ever major WWE Premium Live event to be held in Germany, will emanate from the Mercedes-Benz Arena in Berlin, Germany on Saturday, August 31st, 2024. Fans interested in an exclusive pre-sale opportunity can register now by visiting www.com/BashInBerlin presale. Additionally, priority pass ticket packages will soon be available from On Location, offering fans the chance to be ringside for every exhilarating moment, including premium seating, pre-show hospitality with WWE superstar appearances, ringside photo opportunities, exclusive merchandise, and more. Starting today, fans can place a deposit to secure access ahead of the general public. To learn more about priority passes or to place a deposit, please visit onlocationexp.com/BashInBerlin. Going over future programs for WWE, the Wrestling Observer newsletter wrote, "Right now, based on things told to me and stare downs on television, whether this is for Mania or another big show, the down the line teases last week were Reigns versus Rhodes, Ripley versus Lynch, Jimmy versus Jay, and Flair versus Cargill." Asked about his experiences with Hulk Hogan, former WWE star Marty Jannetty told Wrestling News, "Loved him. He's a great guy, great guy. He would throw parties. Oh my God, those parties he would throw. He'd invite everybody, but for the Florida boys, which I was at the time, he would have, we'd go out on a 3-level ship because he lives in Tampa Bay. He would always invite all of us." Jannetty then said what was at the party. Food. I'm not going to say the drugs part, but food, drinks, and when I say drinks, you know what I'm talking about. One time, don't get mad at me. I'm sorry, brother. Just once he had, when you walked in the front door, you know those gumball machines? You just turn, it was mixed drugs. And you turn it and you take whatever comes out. You can go back to the gumball machine, but when you walk in, it's right there when you walk in the front door, and just turn it and 3, 4, 5 pills would just fall out. Revealing how he was set to be a part of plans for WrestleMania 40 weekend, Rob Van Dam said on his podcast, "I got a phone call I picked up because it was from the big company, had a little talk, and got officially unbooked from Philly. About 30 minutes later, I got another message and got officially rebooked in Philly from another company. So that was pretty good. In the meantime, I'm just reading letters. A.E. It happened like when I got there and before I left, before I even had a chance to think about the first message. So that's just the universe doing what it does, which is pretty awesome. The reason I don't want to put too much detail on that is because word got out when I said before that I was unbooked, and it kind of worked against me because I had someone inside working on trying to do some damage repair. And then I got people on Twitter saying, let's pass this around, man. We need RVD rebooked. And I was trying not to give that much attention to it because I had someone working on it. Either way, different dates, same town. The one is becoming more and more valuable than the other one to me each time anyway." And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.